AI race. And we're going to be looking into some key insights, research, findings, and what it means for Australia and our future. And to share more with you will be Santi Vela. He's right here, Santi, and as you make your way up to the floor, he is the AI and Digital Marketing Manager at the School of Digital. Everyone, let's welcome Santi.
Thank you. Thank you so much. How is everyone today? Good?
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. Guys, do you want to stand up just to relax a little bit before we start? Has been two presentations. Please stand up for a second so we fresh up. We relax a little bit. Yeah, that's good. That's good. Thank you so much. Okay, guys, let's have a seat. Thank you for doing that. All right, so it's a different keynote in the sense I will not be telling you at all how to use AI. At all. Because we are in a situation right now in which using AI is fantastic, don't take me wrong, okay? But for us to remain competitive, as a nation, using AI is just not enough. It's very important, guys, that we start thinking about developing AI. So, is your company talking about AI? I know the answer is yes. But is the conversation around, hey, let's use AI? That is not so special anymore. Everybody uses AI. Government uses AI. Military uses AI. Nothing special about it. Developing AI then, okay. Then we start having an interesting conversation. Now, creating infrastructure that can produce AI, that is the ultimate goal. And guess what, guys? We are not there. We are, as a nation, we are not there at all. We can do pretty well in terms of using AI. But let's move forward if we want to remain competitive. By 2029, AI models will be more intelligent than any human in any discipline. It is a fact. There is nothing that we can do about it. Now, this situation that AI is going to be more intelligent than any professional in any field by 2029, combined plus that Australia has an inability to build AI, building top level, yeah, developing medium level, using low level. I'm not talking about using. I'm talking about, as a country, Australia cannot, at this moment as I speak, cannot build AI. And that is problematic. That, for us, is problematic. Because in 5 years' time, in 10 years' time, you want to live in a country that has AI infrastructure. That is what you want. Because the livelihood, the prosperity depends on it. It's the new oil. So it is irrational to believe AI will not reshape all the global economies and disrupt the existing balance of power. That is the war. That is the global race. Is it China? Is it the US? Is it the Netherlands? Have you heard about the Netherlands? Well, they are very, very important players in this particular conversation, in this particular race. So, guys, it's not optional. It's not optional. We must wake up. If we want Australia to be competitive in 5-10 years' time, we need to wake up. Now, let's talk about the mathematics of AI. Who cares? It's not a complicated thing. These mathematical concepts have been discussed for 50 years, and guess what? They apply to AI, nothing new. That is not the, and guess, look, Australian universities could train any person today on understanding the mathematical concepts that power AI. Any Australian university can do that today. But what is that we cannot do? The infrastructure. It's practically impossible for us to develop data centers that are required to train AI models. Now, leaders, Australian leaders, like many of you guys, policymakers, don't understand that. Don't understand that. And that is the reason why I'm here. Hopefully, you leader, or you becoming leader, understand that, guys, let's develop policy that will power infrastructure that will make us less dependent on China and the United States. Otherwise, we will continue being users. Huh? Now, let's talk about the industry. I don't want to talk about the software. I don't want to talk about the business. I don't need to talk about. I want you to understand how this industry, which is the summatory, isn't it, of AI-related businesses work. There is a lack of understanding on this particular. There is a lack of understanding on this particular. How it starts? It starts with sand. Yeah, with sand. With sand. That is the basic of it. Quartz sand, silica sand. That's not the problem. We have plenty of it. Countries, not a problem. But to produce the quality sand required to produce waffles in which you can print microchips is something that only Japan, Germany, the US, Taiwan, and South Korea can do. Nobody else can do this. To produce the raw materials, Australia cannot produce the raw material for us to produce, finally, a microchip. We don't have the capability for us to produce the raw material. Do you understand? Now, let's talk about the design. Far away. For someone to design how a microchip works, that person needs to understand a lot about what is the functionality, the physics of that microchip. And guess what? No way, we are not there. But the US is killing it. They understand the game. So in terms of designing, which is the artistic component, that is the art of AI, they are doing it. We are not doing it. We are not training. Hey guys, I work for universities, okay, for TAFEs. 20 years teaching in Australia. Telling you, universities, TAFEs are not on the bus. You cannot be like middle point. You need to be on the bus of the new technologies. We are not with there. We are not training people to design microchips. We tell people to use Canva and Illustrator, but we are not there yet. Important to go to the States for a couple of years for you to find out how advanced they are when it comes to designing microchips. NVIDIA is the most important player in terms of, but they are not producing the microchips. They are not producing the raw material, the sand. They are just doing the graphics, the design on a computer. All right? It's nothing. It's just the artistic part of it. And then they need to send that design to, let's imagine a printer machine, but it's a very, very special printer machine. The cheapest one is $150 million. The cheapest one is $150 million. One machine that has the capability to take that previous design that I showed you, put that silicon sand, and print the nanotechnologies required and the nano instruction required for a microchip to work. And this machine, guys, this machine is only produced in one country, only in one country. What is that country? The Netherlands. Guys, we all depend. We all depend on the Dutch. It's a call to action. If there is just one country producing this machine, well, you may have a look how complex that is. That is the company, ASML, in the Netherlands that produce the machine required for companies in Taiwan to actually have the production plant. This is an example of that industry. For us to have the microchips that we use in our computers and data centers. This factory exists in one country. What is that country? Taiwan. US tried in Arizona to replicate the model. Doesn't work. Doesn't work. Not because the technology exists, we can replicate it so easily. The layers for something like this to operate are so outside the control and the capabilities of majority of countries in the planet, including Australia. And we call ourselves a developed country. And we are not asking our policymakers to get serious about this game. We are not serious about these games. We continue talking about using AI. Let's start moving the conversation so in the next couple of years, hopefully we start talking about developing AI. China is trying, they can't. And now you know the tension that exists between China and Taiwan. That's the company in Taiwan. They have in that area these machines from the Netherlands with the designs from the States to produce the microchips. And then the data centers, this is the last part. And then you will say, Santi, but we have data centers in Australia. Yes, we do, but we don't own them. Those data centers belong to Amazon, belong to Apple computers, belong to Microsoft. They don't belong to us. There is just one data center that is called the CDC data center that manages some military and some government information. Apart from that, all companies are sending, a majority of government departments are sending their information to a data center that is in the US or in China. That's dangerous. That's why we cannot be competitive. If the place where the information is stored is not inside our national borders, we cannot compete. And guess what? We cannot protect the freedom and the prosperity of our citizens. Policymakers don't understand this. Have a look at this picture. That tells the story, guys. That 2024, the data centers are in the US. And yes, Australia has some. I'm telling you, 98% of these data centers are owned by companies that are outside Australia. And our information is going there, but not just your personal information, your queries, your prompts. When you are researching for the next model, product that you want to launch, is going to a data center. And that information is not encrypted. Guys, we were talking about language before, conversation before. That is the ultimate level of human intellect. There is nothing above that. Our language, our capability to express our feelings and our ideas is the ultimate level of human intellect. We converse with AI software. And that information by default is not encrypted. You understand that? So the owner of the data center gets your query, your research about the next limited edition of the product that you want to launch. So the implications for the private sector are huge. Are huge. But the implications for government. Imagine a national security decision where a strategic intelligence is processed on computers controlled by another country. Imagine a business decision where corporate secrets need protection, yet the reasoning behind is fully visible by whoever owns that AI server. That is what I'm talking about. And that's what I need you guys to take out from this conversation. That is not a good place to be. We need to understand data centers as a national interest resource. As important as our capability to produce power, or even more. So the data centers should be owned by us and should be located within our borders. Guys, the data centers should be owned by us and they should operate within our borders. That is what we have to ask government and policymakers. It's a national resource. It's a national asset. There is no question about it. But China and the US, they understand that pretty well. But we don't. What is the opportunity? The opportunity is to change. Because we are early in this race. We are early. So we still have a chance, but we need to act now. Guys, 2029 is a breaking point. You know what happened 100 years ago, yeah? Cycles repeat. You need to prepare for that 2029. Today, when you go back to your office space, start thinking for a second, hey, what is the future of my business? If instead of using AI, I start developing AI. So, not just for Australia, but also for your business, please start thinking. Will you be a producer of AI? Will Australia be a producer? Very difficult, we don't have the technology. But I am inviting everyone to be a developer of AI. That's my invitation to you guys. Stop thinking about using AI, everybody. My kid is here, Luciano. He uses AI. There's nothing special about using AI. Let's develop agentic AI models. Talk about this with your decision makers at your company. Or, because if we don't do this, we will be a user. And we will be depending on foreign innovation. So let's wake up. Let's go, all right? Guys, thank you so much. Hope you like it. Thank you so much. Yes, please. Just before the questions. These are my socials, if you want to follow me.
Oh, Santi, thank you. That was very engaging. And we do have a few minutes for a couple of questions. Anyone would open the room? Sir, straight at the back. Feel free.
Can you speak a little bit about DeepSeek and how that's reduced the barriers to entry?
Well, good question, Mark. Thank you so much. So, all right, this is crazy. The United States is so protective of its intellectual property in terms of developing these technologies as they are protected with nuclear weapons. Is it clear? With ballistic missiles, yeah? Same thing. They are equally protective with ballistic missiles, nuclear weapons, than with the production of microchips. You cannot buy microchips from NVIDIA. No country can. You may try, but you will fail in that negotiation. So what DeepSeek did, they got a couple of containers of a previous microchip that is called the H800. The latest one, today one, is called the H100. Top notch. China doesn't have access to it. But they got access to the previous generation of that microchip, which is the H800. And with that they created DeepSeek. So it's extraordinary what they did. Because with technology that is not up to scratch compared to what they have in the US to produce OpenAI, they basically, and that is the race, that is the war I'm talking about. So the States is in a complex situation.
I guess also what I was trying to get more information about is, and relating it back to your Australian example,
Yeah.
I mean, they only spent 5 or 6 million producing that, whereas the United States has spent billions on.
So true, well, that's $500 billion, man.
So can Australia replicate that?
No way. And to be honest, not even the States. For me, that is a story, it's like the Cold War, all right? Oh, we have the capacity. It's a lot of money. But that is a project that is called the Stargate project. They did a very similar project that was called the Manhattan Project. All right? In Australia, we did a similar project that was called the Snowy Project to create the power plants. Remember? This kid told me about it. And we invite people from all over the world to build the capability for us to create the Snowy Project. And guess what? We did it. We need to do that again. But we are not retaining the talent. Paul knows that. We are not retaining the talent. We're letting the talent go. That is because the policy is not here to protect our assets in terms of people, technology, and processes. Thank you. Another question, please?
You mentioned in one of your slides that in just a few years AI will be more intelligent than humans. So I think it probably already is in many ways. Certainly can synthesize large amounts of data much, much faster. But what do you mean by more intelligent than, given that we know that there are various types of intelligence?
So true. All right. Thank you. There is a concept that is called singularity. Yeah? It's exponential. We cannot reach that. And we're becoming close to that. That's not a bad thing. Guys, AI is not going to replace you. That's not the question here. People using AI is what is going to replace you. So we should not be afraid of AI. Europe is afraid of AI. So afraid of AI. They are regulating AI so much that they don't advance. In 2023, August, President Biden signed a presidential order, executive order, to manage, regulate AI. Just like Europe is doing today. Trump got into power and said, that presidential order goes out. We need to compete on open markets. So what is happening is that in no time, these AI systems will have computational power that is going to exceed any capability of any human. But I'm going to explain you why. It's such a good question. If you want to really understand AI, think about AI as the reverse engineering of the human brain. That's what AI is. It's a reverse engineering of the human brain. And it's being done so well and so good that you have access to the total knowledge of the humankind in a mobile device today that is connected to the internet. Also the GPU power, the CPU power is extraordinary today. And the internet connection with 5G are extremely fast. So when we have the internet connections, the CPU powers, all right, and these models that operate extremely efficiently, we can reach the point of singularity if we are not already there yet. But again, let's not get scared about it. We have willing, nothing will happen. What will happen is that another country will get ahead of us and they will control our economies. That is all. That's all. The AI thing is not about human versus machine, please, no. No. We are the power, we are human, we are alive. AI is a software. That's not the problem. I'm talking about that. Please stop. It's about which country will be using AI. And for you guys, which company is developing AI? Because that company is the one that you need to look at as the most likely competitor to disrupt.
Thank you, Santi, and great questions off the floor too. But on another note, can we thank you for such an engaging and challenging conversation? Santi and Claire, whilst you're here, please accept your gift from Esther at the Empathy Gift and Code. Thank you for your, thank you, and we'll definitely have you around for a few more questions. Thank you, Santi. When we have our morning tea break after our following presentation, definitely chat with Santi on the floor in the exhibition area. And speaking of morning tea, that is happening following our next presentation, everyone. And we're going to be turning our attention from AI to e-commerce. And we'll be looking at a holistic approach to e-commerce growth. Now, everyone, I did have a sneak peek at this presentation. It looks amazing. And to deliver it, can we please welcome the founder of Sugar? He's right here. Give it up for Sagar Sethi.
Thanks. One of the things I'm not going to do today is get you guys to stand up before my presentation, so you guys can keep sitting. I really thought